Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Quick update on yesterday's game. It's one of those. I'm in a different room today, so I'm in the dining room. But yeah, I mean, gotta give credit to Crystal Palace. Thought they were absolutely brilliant yesterday defensively. We can't have too many complaints about it. I don't think we played particularly well. Starting 11 was just bizarre. I said it before the game when the teams were announced. I just was like, it just don't know. It just seemed really, really weird. Considering that you could understand it for the Leicester game being a cup competition, but you would have thought that some of those players would have been rested for yesterday's game against Palace, and it was just I just don't get the. You've got to question whether you believe what Pep says when he says we play each game as it comes. Every game is the most important game, and the next game is the most important game. But that didn't come across yesterday with his selection. So I know Fernandinho was out and he's got a knock and whatever else, but yeah, it was a really weird, really weird one. It's hard to, Walker had a nightmare. He did have one of those, and I don't think it's wrong to call players out when they have an absolute nightmare. And Walker had an absolute shocker yesterday. There's no doubt in that. The first one showing Schlupp onto his left foot when he could have played him inside where there was cover. Just poor. The second goal, wow. I must admit, I can't think of a better strike or volley in particular. Let's say a volley. I've seen live in my lifetime, and I've been following City live since 1977, and I can't think of another strike I've seen live. And I was racking my brains last night. I was thinking, and people were saying, what about Shearer's? What about Wayne Rooney's volley? And but Rooney's was off his shin. Shearer's was straight ahead of him where he had options of either side, and it was hit so true at 67 miles an hour. What a wonderful strike. There's nothing you could do. You could have two keeps in there and it'd probably go past both of them. So, I mean, you've got to give it to Andros Townsend. It was an absolutely amazing strike. And then suddenly we're 2-1 down, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? But Pep made a change after 4 minutes, 4.5, 5 minutes of the second half. You're thinking, why? Should have done that at half time. What are you waiting for? I just didn't get Pep's tactics yesterday. And like I said in the post-match video I did at the stadium just before half time, full time, I said, it's not often we blame Pep. It's rarely we say anything negative about him. But I do think yesterday he got it all wrong. Not only his starting 11, but then waiting until 5 minutes into the second half to make changes when we're 2-1 down and everything's not really working. It was just, I thought it was garbage, if I'm honest. And Pep needs to take a look at himself, because we can blame Walker and people are blaming John Stones, and I don't think it's Stones' fault, but I don't think many other players stepped up to the plate yesterday. I thought Sterling was poor, I thought Sane was poor, Gabby Jesus didn't do anything. I thought Bernardo Silva had another really poor game, and it's a shame because he's been a real shining light for us, certainly this season. So anyway, I spoke to Dia from Back of the Nest podcast and said to him, well done, you guys were superb. And I think they really were superb defensively yesterday. And let's face it, 78% possession, 4 shots on target, scored 3. You can't complain about that. I mean, that's clinical finishing. So I spoke to Dyer today and said to him, what were your thoughts? And this is Dyer's thoughts on yesterday's performance for Crystal Palace and Back in the Nest podcast.
Honestly can't believe it. Fantastic result for Palace. It was not expected. No one even expected us to score a goal, let alone score 3, and also manage to win at City. If we got a draw, that would have been fantastic. Everyone predicted that it would be a 5-0 loss, but I thought we performed really well yesterday and surprised many Palace fans. Start of the game, I thought we contained City pretty well until they got the first goal, and that was a disappointing goal to concede from Palace's perspective. I think it was a bit too easy. Gundogan was just left open, and you got so much talent in your team that this team can easily win the Champions League, in my opinion. And he finished it, and then a couple of minutes later, Jeffrey Schlupp scored a goal. First of all, before Jeffrey Schlupp scored that goal, every Palace fan lost all belief, as we thought our predictions would be right and that City will kick on and get 4 more, 5 more, and we'll get absolutely battered. But we scored a goal, and from Jeffrey Schlupp as well, who was in fault for the first goal. No one really expected it. Jeffrey Schlupp is not known for scoring goals. He's only got 1 goal so far this season, but it was a fantastic finish from him, and it gave us a bit of hope. Palace fans didn't really know what to expect. And then a couple minutes later, when Andros Townsend scored that goal, I lost my head, I'll be honest. I'm still amazed by how we finished that. I really don't want to go into that goal, because that goal, every time I think about it, it just switches my mind off. Fantastic goal from Andros Townsend. 2-1 at half time. Many fans were surprised the fact that we scored 2 goals and we were beating City, which we never do away from home. So that was fantastic going into the second half. We got a bit of momentum, and I thought throughout the game we were very solid defensively. We contained City pretty well. You got brilliant talent in your team, and Palace played very good as a team. That's what you need to do against City. As you saw with the Gundogan goal, you take your eye off the game for 1 second and that's it. City can punish you. But saying that, without being too harsh, I think City lacked a bit of creativity as well. I think they could have performed a bit better. I expected them to perform better than that. At times, they weren't as dangerous, and they seemed like they wasn't really up for it in a way. So that was weird, but that was a positive for Palace fans. Well, I'm not really upset for that, but I can see, City fans being frustrated. I know why, because you expect a bit more from that City side, but fantastic result. Looking at player performances, Andros Townsend, brilliant goal, very solid defensively. He's an attacking player who helped us out a lot yesterday in terms of defending. Max Meyer also going back defending, and another player that I don't think you guys will be happy that I mentioned, but I'll keep it a bit brief, is Wilfried Zaha. I thought he was isolated throughout the game, but did the best he could do. He was always giving City players something to think about. And yes, I understand City fans' frustrations with him flapping about, but also there were some calls that I think that the referee should have given but didn't give. But I don't want to go too much into that. Wilfried Zaha, I thought he had a good game for Palace. But yeah, I think overall defended as a team, took our chances. I think we had 3 shots on target, 3 goals, which previously Palace haven't done. And it's a fantastic result for us against a fantastic club.
So, on to the player ratings then. Ederson, not sure he could do much about the goals, 6. Kyle Walker, absolute 3. I mean, he was shocking. Nothing more. I'm moving on. There's nothing more I can say about that. Shocking performance. But needs a rest and put his feet up for a few weeks, and then we can get him rested and back for sort of start of the new year. Onto the centre-back pairing. Initially was Laporte and Otamendi. Laporte did okay, gets 6.5. Otamendi gets a 6. Nothing great. Delph I thought was fine, 6. I know people were slagging him off, but I didn't think he did anything majorly wrong, so he gets a 6. Then in midfield, Stones and let's say Gundogan as the 2. Stones I thought was a 6, not his position. Was sloppy once early on in the game, but I thought, he is a little bit slow. He's not a Fernandinho, but I didn't think he did anything wrong. I thought, for me personally, and this is my own opinion, I thought it was more of the creative side we lacked yesterday. So Stones gets 6. Gundogan, give him a 7 because I thought he took his goal really well, moved into a brilliant area and took his header superbly well, and a great cross from Delph. Bernardo Silva gets a 5. I thought he had a really poor game yesterday. His final ball was pretty awful. But he's coming back, and it's one of those we thought we'd rest him, and he came back, and just didn't do a great deal yesterday. And then up front we had Leroy Sané, Sterling and Gabby Jesus. Well, Leroy, ball kept just being under his foot all the time. It was almost like he kept losing control. And sometimes Leroy has games like that. And for me, again, he gets a 5. I thought he was poor yesterday. Gabby up front, as much as he worked, he didn't do anything really. Which is a shame, because so after doing so well against Everton and scoring those 2 goals, he gets a 5. And then Raheem Sterling did nothing apart from one wonderful run where he took players on and cut a ball back. But again, there was Wan-Bissaka, who I thought was man of the match out the game yesterday. I thought he was superb. He gets a 5. Then onto the subs. Aguero, nothing. Didn't out, 5. Mahrez came on late in the game, nothing. One cross, I think it was, that went to their defender, and then did his usual 20 passes back inside or backwards, or didn't do anything, so he gets a 5. It's hard to, I don't like giving the subs sort of scores, because sometimes 15-20 minutes is not enough time to impact a game. Kevin De Bruyne obviously gets a 7. He impacted the game with that cross, goal, whatever you want to call it, but we look so much more dangerous when he's on the pitch. And Pep Guardiola, you get a 3. I just thought you got it all wrong, mate, and that's my own opinion. People disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But anyway, guys, that's my score ratings for yesterday's game. Onwards and upwards, we move on. We're only 4 points behind. We've come back from way further back than that. I think it was 3 games with 3 points behind that were left to the season. Liverpool last time they were there, and we came back and won the league. So I mean, we're not going to panic. It's 18 games in, 4 points behind is plenty of games to go. The big game's going to be City versus Liverpool at the Etihad. We'll be there. That's a massive 6-pointer, and I'd be surprised if we don't get a full squad, with the exception of Mendy, a full squad back for that particular game. So anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV, wishing you all an absolutely wonderful Christmas. We'll be reporting from the Leicester game, Southampton game, and then obviously in the new year we'll be at the Liverpool game. But anyway, have a wonderful time with all your family and friends. And I said, subscribe to the channel. You might not agree all the time with everything that we say, but we're here. We do it for the right reasons. We don't charge a penny. We do it every day for the City fans, because that's what our channel is all about, for the fans. But yeah, have a wonderful time. Merry Christmas, everyone. Please subscribe, click notification, and we'll see you soon.